Hello and welcome to another episode of Soundcheck, the programme that showcases up-and-coming British artists, allowing you to explore new and diverse music. I'm your host, Rare Sunshine, and joining me this week is Ryan and David from Stoke-on-Trent based band New Education. New Education are a four-piece band made up of brothers Ryan and Jack Dooley and longtime friends David Cartwright and Will Heaney. The band's gritty yet upbeat indie anthems has earned them a growing, devoted fan base in their hometown of Stoke-on-Trent. And having toured with the likes of the Holloways, Detroit Social Club, the Twang and even Pete Doherty has earned them a growing recognition up and down the country. Okay, introductions out the way, let's meet the band. Please welcome Ryan and David from New Education. Hi guys, how are you doing?
Hi, you're right.
Good stuff. Now first and foremost, Ryan, you set up the band initially with your brother Jack.
That's right, yeah.
And then you brought in David and drummer Will at a later stage. How did that all come about? How did New Education form?
Well, me and Jack have been playing music and the rest of it since we've been like yay big. So yeah, it's pretty much what we wanted to do, you know, since we left school, and you know, some of the latter stages at school, we should explain the low exam results for both of us. We're both bright lads though, you can hear it in the music.
So you make the music yourselves, you write the music yourselves, but how does the process come along? Who's the kind of spearheader of New Education?
I'd say he's probably you, isn't he?
Yeah, I do a lot of the writing, you know, as what I do as the actual song, but you know, everyone's got their own role in it, and it wouldn't be the same without anyone. Yeah,
we all work on like the music and that together.
Yeah, and, so you all write the music together?
Yeah.
And where do your influences come from?
I've got influences range from like Bob Dylan to like house music.
Okay.
I like Metallica. I like Classic FM, it's one of those.
So very diverse. So you talked about your sound there and the kind of change and transformation of your sound. How would you describe the music that you make?
Describe lots of ways. Yeah. A good one was Joy Division jamming the Beach Boys. I thought that was quite strange, but in a weird sort of way, I knew what they were saying.
Okay.
But yeah, it's. I don't like the word indie gets thrown around too much. But yeah, you know, it's gritty yet upbeat. Okay. And you know, that's it's kind of like the sort of mentality if you're coming from a place like Stoke-on-Trent. It's sort of the mentality you've got to keep. It's gritty, but yeah, it's upbeat.
Does that describe Stoke-on-Trent quite well as well?
Yeah, people who can live there and survive there have got to be gritty, but I've got to be upbeat at the same time.
Right. Now, Stoke-on-Trent, obviously, all four of the band members are Stoke-on-Trent based, born and bred.
Yeah.
And you've had a lot of Stoke-on-Trent influences, and a lot of the time, anything that's kind of talked about the band is often brought back to Stoke-on-Trent. How do you feel that living and growing up in a place like that affects the music that you make?
It's going to have an effect on it, isn't it? Because it obviously influences you with like your life there. But I mean, I don't know. I still think we'd end up sounding similar no matter where we live there as well.
But it often gets described as like a grey, uninspiring place, and that in itself is inspiring. So you know, you sort of get your head around that, and you can use that as a positive. I mean, people always raise the same questions to us when we're outside of town about things like high BNP votes and stuff in the area, and places like Burnley and Oldham, sort of cities that sort of outside the main cities. You know, they've lost all their industry, and you know, there's a lot of young people here who've got the wrong idea about life and stuff. But you know, playing music and stuff, it sort of kept us on this, you know, the sort of track I want to be on. And you know, it's hard for a lot of people to understand around here, and it's hard for a lot of people to understand how we can think like living in a city like Stoke, but you know, there's plenty of people like us.
Now, I mentioned earlier that you've toured with some pretty well-established acts out there, the likes of the Holloways, the Rifles, Pete Doherty. How did that come about, and how did you find it?
Well, it comes through like the agents. As we just sort of get put on to go and do the gigs. But yeah, I mean, it's great doing that sort of thing. Really good tour. You know, we got on really well with the Twang. They were a great band to tour with.
For so long, we haven't been able to get those sorts of gigs because you know, you haven't got the right sorts of people involved, and it's only been a recent thing that we've been given that opportunity to meet those people and to play with them. It's been great.
How do you feel that the crowds at their gigs react to you?
We've had a really good response because we've been put with the, we've played to the right sorts of crowd, haven't we?
Yeah, yeah.
Especially with the Rifles, they've got a real traditional mod crowd, and they're brilliant because they want to collect the stickers, the vinyls. You know, that's sort of the whole mod mentality, and it was great playing to that crowd. And we're not necessarily a mod band really, but it was just great playing to that crowd because you know halfway through the tour you saw people with new education stickers and badges, but done all smart onto the coats, you know, because that's how they dress. It was brilliant.
How do you feel when you get out there and people are singing along to your songs, or they've already bought the single? How do you feel with watching people sing your songs back to you?
It's been brilliant, really, because I mean it's not like we're playing to packed rooms or the whole room singing it, but it's starting to get that way. There are people who are showing up to the gigs and just having like 10 or 15 people singing your songs is, you know, it's daunting enough. Never mind like 40 or 50.
Yeah, it makes it worth it, doesn't it?
Yeah,
when you
definitely.
see people actually getting into what you're doing.
Yeah,
definitely.
I'm sure it does. Now, talking about the new single, recently released, Arcane, and recorded and mixed by Chris Botter, who famously collaborated and produced with the Verve, among others. How did that come about, and how did you find it?
It was excellent working with Chris, really, because he was just. I mean, we've worked with like professional guys in studios before that on the singles before, but he was one of those guys. You'd have his eyes closed and he'd just be feeling it. He would just be touching the dial. He just knew where it was. He was amazing, and he's a really nice, down-to-earth guy as well, and he's really patient. So I think a lot of the people we met in his studio, the other producers as well, they just had this massive patient vibe about them, which I think you've got to be to do their job, really. To just listen to the same loop all the time and just getting it right. Yeah, but it was brilliant. It was great to hear his ideas and stuff.
Good stuff. Now, talking about all the kind of different places you've performed, you've recently finished your UK tour, and that started off in Leeds and finished in Stoke-on-Trent.
Yep.
How did you find it?
It was all right, wasn't it? I mean.
I thought it was, it's a fantastic tour to do, but it's a weird time to do it because there was the thing like the recession. Like some of the big cities seem to, there seem to be still people coming, but if you play somewhere like, I don't know, somewhere like Grimsby or Stockton, this time of year on a Tuesday night, even though you are well known, and even though it's hard to get the big crowds in, especially this sort of time for the finances and whatnot, but. Overall, the tour it was our first tour on our own, you see. So, but it was great. It was great, and especially like Manchester and places in the Midlands where a lot of people know about us. It was fantastic.
Where was your favourite place to perform?
To go against what I said, it was Southampton, really.
Yeah, I reckon Southampton.
It was just full of like young people, and it was really cheap to get in as well. What I didn't agree with, there was like. In some of the bigger cities, it was like a bit too much on the door. But in Southampton, we didn't get paid as much as the rest of the tour. It was about £2 to get in. It was just full of kids. It was ace, and that's what you want. Right,
last gig you went to, where you were in the audience and you watched an amazing performance and just wished it could have been you on stage instead. Who was it?
I went to see Oasis when I was 14 with my dad, and I went. The first gig I ever went to was that same year when I was like 14. I saw Supergrass, and I was like, that's what I'm doing. I just I want to be that. I want to be Gaz Coombs on that stage, going crazy with his guitar. I just thought, and they were so tight, it was amazing. I just thought that's it, because there's only 3 lads in that band. There's just the 3 guitarists to make the noise they made that night. It was just like I've got to do that.
And there's 4 of you in New Education. Yeah. What does each individual bring to the band?
Apart from musical knowledge. I don't know. I'd have to. Jack's definitely good at calming me down, isn't he? Because he's my brother. Me and Jack know how each other tick, and that's a good thing and a bad thing. It depends.
Yeah. Do you know how to wind each other up as well?
Yeah, know how to wind each other up, and we know how to push each other's buttons.
Yeah. So, do you think the family connection there kind of helps the ethos in the band?
Like I say, it does.
It doesn't, definitely.
It's like we know how each other ticks, and Dave knows how we both tick, so if Dave has to step in, he does it.
It can blow up over nothing, or it can be pulled together when normally it would break apart. Like.
So are you a bit of a mediator?
Sometimes, yeah, have to be.
Okay, finally, what's your next big plan for New Education?
Well, I reckon we'll be doing another tour. I think we might be, you know, if we can get a good support slot, and we'll, or maybe do our own one. I reckon that I think that's been currently booked, but we don't know anything about it. We know as much as you at the moment, but you know, I'm sure that'll definitely happen. I think there'll be maybe one more single, and then I reckon it'll be album time.
The album, yeah.
Yeah. Which I can't wait for. I can't wait to record it. You know, it's going to sound brilliant.
Brilliant. Well, thank you so much for coming in and talking to us. And if you want to check out more of New Education's music, visit myspace.com/New Education. You can also purchase their tracks from iTunes or online at kidsthelabel.co.uk/buy. Now we have our Challenge the Band segment of the show. On our board we have a collection of words which are relative to music related questions, and you'll have a choice of 3 answers to choose from with 90 seconds to choose as many answers correctly as possible. As soon as you choose your first word, the game will get going.
All right.
Go on, Dave. Top of the league.
What should we start with?
I don't know.
Think carefully about this one. You're going to be on our leaderboard.
Seems a good place, doesn't it?
Notes.
Notes. How many notes are there in a musical scale? A, B, A8, B6 or C7?
Oh, be sure.
In a scale?
In a musical scale?
7.
I'm afraid not.
It's 8, isn't it?
It's 8.
I knew it was 8.
Next word. 90 seconds.
Notation.
Away. In a musical notation, which note is half a minim? Is it A, a semiquaver, B, a quaver, or C, a crotchet?
I've got no idea.
Half a minim. A quaver, a semiquaver, or a crotchet. Is it a crotchet?
It is, well done.
Thank you.
Next word.
Norway.
Norway, right. Which 80s band stems from Norway? Is it A, Foreigner, B, Journey, or C, Aha?
Aha.
It is, well done.
There we go again.
That's 2 right. Next word.
I can't believe I didn't know the musical scale, but I knew where Aha are from.
That's not a good look. Next word, guys.
We're going to have nipple, aren't we?
Yeah, we've got to have nipple.
Nipple. Which popular American event has been at the centre of scandal, having both Shania Twain and Janet Jackson expose their nipples? A, the World Series, B, the Super Bowl, or C, Thanksgiving Day Parade?
Super Bowl.
It's correct.
That's 3.
Next word.
Right,
that sound signals the end of the game, and you managed to get a total of 3 points, which puts you second on the leaderboard, I'm afraid. Trip Hazard at top spot with 4 points.
Yeah.
Champions League place.
Well done, guys. Thank you for taking part in our very serious Challenge the Band game.
Yeah, very serious.
I see the sky, I want to your embrace, another miracle. Awaits,
New Education are now going to play us out with a performance of Welcome Home. If you want to find out more about New Education, visit myspace.com/New Education.
My name's Ryan Daly. This is called Welcome Home. Chances I've let go and stories floated away.
dreams we've ever known. They say it's just a matter of time before our love is lost on the motorway. Your eyes are as deep as the sea, and I can tell you I see another way. Looking out through the keyhole, I'm gazing up to the stars. It's never gonna be Reno, but this place is ours. And while the world is still waiting, relaxing under the sun, their future's ours, so they're taking. Our time has come as we've come back to welcome home. All the dreams we've ever known. They say it's just a matter of time before our love is lost on the motorway. Your eyes are as deep as the sea, and I can tell you I see another way. They say it's just a matter of time before our love is lost on the motorway. Your eyes are as deep as the sea, and I can tell you I see another way. It's just a matter of time before our love is lost on the motorway. Your eyes are as deep as the sea, and I can tell you I see another way. They say it's just a matter of time before our love is lost on the motorway. But your eyes are as deep as the sea, and I can tell you I see another way.
We hope you've enjoyed watching. Join me next week on Soundcheck for another instalment of fresh new music.